It's critical because this region has a lot of talent, both from a technological and product development in general perspective. Very good educational system. However, what it lacks is entrepreneurial spirit, business know-how, marketing and sales know-how, and so on and so forth, and actually just in general how to build companies and build startup enterprises. And so what we are trying to do is set up an environment, an ecosystem essentially, or help create an ecosystem that will help folks to set up companies and be on their own and be successful. So it's kind of a, think about it as it's an emerging market for startups, and that's why we are here, and that's why this particular event is also important. Well, I think that part of it is actually having examples of looking at examples that have been successful in the region or elsewhere. To be honest, for example, I'm not actually from the region, but they should look at examples of what makes a startup enterprise successful. And be able to develop those types of skills that are necessary, or acquire those skills. And so, those skills range anywhere from, again, sales, basic things like sales is actually really critical and almost absolutely missing from the region. Business development, which actually there's a key difference between the two. Marketing, or marketing know-how and market research know-how, and product management and so on and so forth. So there's a whole range of things that are missing. I would say that what is not missing and where the region is very strong is technological know-how, and that's really good because that's actually probably one of the most things that actually much of the West is struggling to acquire and maintain and what have you. So I think that there's that's really what where both the workshop as well as the ecosystem here that's being developed should focus on. Well, as I just explained in my presentation, it's very important first and foremost to realize for these guys and girls, it's and I actually love female entrepreneurs. I love for them to succeed. But what's important to realize is that they're not in this region. I mean, they're physically in this region, but their products and solutions are not competing with companies in the region, but they're competing worldwide, which means that they're up against the people in Silicon Valley or in Boston or in London or in Tokyo. And so the reason that's important to recognize, first of all, and actually many of them don't, at this stage yet, which is kind of a first step in coming up with a plan in order to be able to be competitive, is the reason that's important is because they actually lack a lot of the skills that for example, a Silicon Valley startup has, and it's not, yes, they're not as well funded, and like maybe there's not not so much of a funding infrastructure here. That's not really the critical part, because if you have skills and you acquire skills or you acquire people, and you can actually bring people in from abroad or within Europe to acquire these skills. With skills, you can start to get traction, and with traction, you can start to raise money, and you can actually raise money in London or elsewhere. You can actually move companies around. It's really easy to kind of be mobile these days, or even do them remotely. Index Tools was a great example of this. A company that was built in Budapest, Hungary, and actually sold to Yahoo for a large sum, and stayed in Hungary. So it's all of these can be done, and one of the things that they've done successfully is recognizing what those skills required for success in an international market, and their primary market is the United States, and acquiring those skills and bringing them in from abroad, and building a successful company. So it's kind of like there's, unfortunately today, there's a couple of needles in the haystack, successful companies that have done it, but the good thing about it is that they have shown that it can be done, and there's a lot of opportunities. And unlike many regions in the world, this region has a huge asset of very smart technologists, on top of which, like these people's ideas and technological know-how, you can actually build these types of startup companies.